Josh here, Varroa Development Officer at PIRSA. Welcome to the quick recap of the Varroa mite detection update and info session for March 2026. So we went through an intro basics of Varroa mite. Understanding that there are various levels of knowledge out there, we provided an update on where you can build a better and sound understanding of Varroa mite. So referencing the varroa.org.au website via the online training programs, the 30-minute option, the short course, or the more in-depth 9-module programs. A super handy resource. It's jam-packed with references in regards to monitoring, with how-to videos, with all of our Varroa management booklets and fact sheets there as well as this is where you can download all of the templates around your treatment tables, as well as connect to the maps and contacting Varroa development officers. We also ran through the fact that we're about to start some more basic level workshops for beginner beekeepers. Also discussed about connecting with your local bee club, society, and an association, just as a great avenue to meet new beekeepers. Also the Plant Health Australia biosecurity online training through the BOLT program. There's some great resources online for you to study up. So there's some avenues to, again, continue that learning and build a better understanding of Varroa mite. Then we went into the Varroa detection update. Here we discussed the fact that Varroa is spreading across the state, and we are seeing multiple detections in multiple regions of South Australia. And even though we have these detections, Varroa mite remains a notifiable pest, so it's critical that detections or even suspect detections are notified. So reach out to PIRSA, let us know. You can do that via a number of avenues through the pest hotline, or you can contact the Varroa development officer or bee biosecurity officer, someone in the apiary unit, and we can support you through that process. So we discussed that throughout the South Australia we have those detection zones, with each of these detection zones having a 25-kilometre buffer zone. So outlining just the fact that if you are within a buffer zone, even if you're close to a buffer zone, it's super important that you regularly and increase that frequency of monitoring, so 3 to 4 weeks. We also spoke about regions of interest. These regions are where we've not yet had detections, or we've recently had detections, but we know there's been a lot of bee movement in and out of the area, and we're just wanting to sort of reiterate the importance of that frequent monitoring. So areas like the York Peninsula, the Riverland, as well as obviously the Kangaroo Island situation is something to watch. So we have increased resources and personnel on the island for both land and ferry operations, as well as the Sentinel Hive programs are underway with Sentinel Hives across the island as well as at Cape Jervis, and those are being regularly monitored 3 to 4 weeks, both by the KI biosecurity team as well as the apiary unit here on the mainland. We are actually heading down to Kangaroo Island late this month. We'll be down there running some workshops and meeting up with beekeepers. So if you are in the Kangaroo Island area and want to catch up, please let us know. So we just discussed some field observations as far as what we're seeing out in the field. We're seeing environmental spread through these regions. We're seeing multiple detections within these sites. We are also seeing an increase in mite numbers, which is understandable based on the time of year, and we'll get to that shortly. Multiple sites across the state are undergoing treatment programs right now, both utilising non-synthetic, those organic chemical control options, as well as synthetic control options. Small hive beetle is beginning to be a bit of a concern, a bit of something to be aware of, and ensure that you do have integrated pest management processes in place to manage not only Varroa but also these other pests like small hive beetle, wax moth, and so forth. We do know that small hive beetle has caused a lot of issues for interstate beekeepers when Varroa is moving into an area. So we have transitioned to management. We're not enforcing euthanasia. It's very much we're here now to manage. It's very important that all beekeepers straight away, even before they detect Varroa, really establish a well thought out management plan, and that's going to help you as a beekeeper manage your Varroa mite and your operations overall, but as well as it will help us work with you in ensuring that our bees remain healthy, and we're supporting the industry as a whole. And if you do suspect a sample, please keep that sample and let us know. We're taking these samples to the lab, getting them tested down to species level, as well as having them on hand for genomic testing. Monitoring, we're wanting to make sure we're taking our samples from the brood box, making sure we're finding frames with uncapped and capped brood, and that's where we're wanting to take the sample of those 300 bees from when we're doing our monitoring washes. That way we're giving ourselves the best opportunity to find the mites. If you haven't yet found Varroa in your hives, don't underestimate the value of uncapping. So brood uncapping is a great tool for that early detection. We discussed the South Australian Transition to Management Plan, and that document is available from the PIRSA website. We discussed the fact that if you've got 0 to 64 hives, you should be monitoring all of those hives within that apiary. If you've got greater than 65 up to 640, minimum number of 65 hives is ideal, and anything greater than 641 hives, 10% to capture that sort of 65 mark is always helpful. Obviously, the more hives you do monitor, the better picture you are getting of your apiary and your Varroa situation. We spoke about thresholds, knowing that we have transitioned now from our summer into our autumn, winter, spring thresholds. So we do have a lower mite count per 300 bees as that threshold. As we come out of peak bee population, we move into more sort of higher mite population counts, as we know that we have a reduction in bee brood within the hive. The mites don't have that location to reproduce, so what they do is they're pushed more onto the adult bees. So as that bee population decreases, we see that less brood within the hives, we will expect to see a higher mite count in that dispersal or phoretic stage mites where they're on the adult bees crawling around. So with the threshold, right now we're looking at anything from 1 to 4 mites within that wash of 300 bees. It's very much plan and be ready, because as we see mite load increases and we get 5 or more mites within that wash, it is time to intervene with a control. But no matter the case, the way we want to be managing our Varroa is via integrated pest management strategies, where we're using as many tools as possible to reduce that mite load and keep those Varroa numbers down. So using a range of mechanical methods as a priority, get all of your mechanical methods in place as quickly as you possibly can, and that's going to reduce mite load and delay the need for chemical treatment. And obviously then chemical control is that option once we reach that threshold via both synthetic and non-synthetic treatments. We spoke about best practice of integrated pest management, specifically around acaricide or chemical use, ensuring that we rotate mode of actions. We want to reduce the chances of chemical resistance, which we have identified in northern New South Wales and southern Queensland in that small isolated region. So we just spoke about the fact that it's important to rotate the mode of action, which is the way the active ingredient of that chemical kills the mite, and we want to continually rotate this process so that the mites never get accustomed to a certain method of control. We spoke about developing management plans, something that is super important for beekeepers now. It's going to help track your apiary operations, streamline your activities, as well as enable to chart your forward actions in a sense of your forward pest management from mechanical controls to chemical controls. Removes confusion. Ultimately, we want to potentially save you money and time, as well as just a great tool to have. It gives you a good understanding of your operation long term. So use this in conjunction with the ARBIC Varroa chemical treatment table when you start looking at those treatment options. Thinking about slowing the spread, thinking about your biosecurity barriers, ways to ensure that you're a clean, tidy beekeeper, as well as you're not moving Varroa from apiary to apiary when you're moving around. So don't panic. Stay connected with the community. Make sure you reach out to fellow beekeepers because you've got a number of support options available. So even though you may be overwhelmed or find that it's a challenge, it's okay, because we're all in this together and we can learn from each other's successes as well as these challenges and find a pathway forward. But thanks very much, and look forward to catching you at an upcoming event or in the field. But any questions, queries, concerns, please feel free to reach out. We are here to support. So thank you, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.